In this video, I will be building a website with a new no-code AI tool, which is Lovable. And this is basically a tool that you can write text prompts and it will build a website for you. And this is not the final website. Was just one of the first prompts that Lovable built a website once I gave it. And then through the process of iterations, I come to this version, which is much more cleaner with this nice blurred navigation, with this nice pictures, images, beautiful cards, beautiful icons and stuff like that. We have interactive cards. So I will be building this today. The reason that I'm doing this video is that Y Combinator's founders are posting that more designers should be founders and we want them back at YC over the next decade as new coding tools make it easier than ever to build and ship products quickly. Great design is going to matter even more. And it's a great news for me because I've been actually doing design for the past 10 years. I've been doing it full time. So I've been designing all kind of beautiful landing pages. My works have been featured on a lot of inspirations for designers. I've been basically designing my whole life. So today I will be doing it in Lovable, which is a no-code tool. First of all, let's go to Lovable and just give it a small prompt. Basically, I could just take a website for some text from here. So what I'm going to do is just copy all of this text and literally see what it will create. And yeah, I'm just going to copy the text that I wrote with ChatGPT, and then I'm going to go to Lovable, and then I'm going to paste it inside of here. And let's just for reference, I will give you an example of a website that I created with ChatGPT. So this would be just a screenshot. Let me just copy it. I don't need to export. Someone mentioned it in the comments. I can just Control-C and Control-V from Figma, which is pretty neat. And I will upload it and see how it looks like. What I will do next is I have these specific characters here that I can add them to the prompts and have it create something beautiful. I have this nice scenes. Also, what I usually do is go to Dribble and just go around and see what other designers have created in terms of websites recently. There's a filter option to choose web design. And then you have to make sure that it's not just the people you follow, choose the popular. And what I like to do is go to past years. So I'm not just looking at the best designs for the past week or the past month. I like to go big. So I kind of like these styles of designs. Maybe something like this could work. Something like this as well. There's definitely a lot of inspiration that I can take for. But first, I want to see what kind of result will it create with. So I'm going to create AI infrastructure service landing page inspired by the provided mockup. The design will feature a sleek, dark purple gradient background, bold typography, and a structured flow that clearly communicates the value proposition. That's exactly what I want. I like that it knew by default that it's a landing page. I didn't specify create a landing page. I just pasted literally the copy. And then it figured that there's a hero section, which is above the fold that you have on any website. There is this features. So as you can see, there are problems, a lot of problems, and then there's one solution. So I'm interested to see how it will do it from UX perspective. Because for me to think about it, I'd probably need to spend like 10 to 20 minutes searching for the solution, probably like going to Figma and then trying to find some way to actually input all of those solutions in a nice way. But yeah, that would take me some time. So I'm really interested to see what it's going to create. And it seems like it created something. And let's look at the first result. So the first thing, it's added the background to the background, which is not what I wanted. Here we have this image. And then the problem, rely on the staff vendors. And I really like the layout. I think it did a great job of telling the problem and then showing the solution, which is great. But the few things I wanted to first combine these two sections into one section so we don't have two sections telling about the problem. But first, let's do just design edits. So for that, I'm going to give it this picture that I had here. So let's just give it this picture for the hero background. Let's use this image. Also, let's add a gradient to the button because the button just right now solid color, which is don't really like. Main button. Let's see what else we can do here. Also, we also need a navigation bar at the top, because as you can see here, there is no navigation bar, and I think that we should add. It will probably just make sure that it's taking some sections from this, but now let's think how we can actually combine these two sections. So one thing that I can do is I can do the slider, and if I see a slider, not totally the sliders that I want, so it's probably just should be slider, not slider UI, but I forgot how that thing is called. Something like this, where we have few cards in one row, not just them being displayed into two rows. So let's just go here and see what it did created. I see what it did. It just put the background here, and that's not what I wanted. And let's just give it a better example. So I went ahead in Figma and kind of drafted just an example for it to do. And now I can put the text at the top and have the image under that. So make the image 100% of the height. Put the text at the top of the image and make sure the image takes 100% of its height, similar to the example. Let's just send it and see what it's going to do. While it's create, let's find some examples that I can change of the problem, the solution section. So to combine this, I will go to Landbook and just look for some examples that I think would work best. I will just open a lot of random websites that I think will have similar theme, and then just look for similar sections that I can just send to Lovable and ask them to recreate. This website is very well designed, but I think it doesn't have something similar. I like this website, it's pretty cool. Let's go back to Lovable and see what it created. So I like how it's already started to building this hero section. It's already did very good job. Now I want to work on the second section, which should be more similar to what we have here in the mockup. Just gonna make a screenshot of it, and then I'm gonna say, and let's go to Lovable and say, for the second section, meet Wes. Let's do something similar to this. Don't use this picture as the background, but you can use the character to put it next to the text. It next to the text. My writing skills are the best. Okay, now I can just upload the picture of the character as well. So let's go to the images here and city West. Currently this one has the background, so let me just quickly remove. And now I can just upload it. And I don't know if he's going to figure out which picture to take, because I just said don't use it as a background, but now I'm explaining to use it as a background. Also, I think it should be much taller section. Currently it is a little bit condensed. So I want it to take at least like 80% of the screen. So I'm going to ask that. But yeah, this section is what I'm currently trying to figure out. What's the best way to actually make sure that it looks good. It did take the correct picture, but now I wanted to make it much larger. So I'm going to select this div and then probably look for ways to make it bigger, which I don't really currently see. So maybe we can select the image itself. Let's go and select the image. Yeah, there is that function. Oh, not like this. And maybe we'll just keep this image as it is, but just combine them into one section. Combine these two separate sections into one section. I think this would be better. It will try to do something much better than the slider. Maybe it has more ideas than I do. So I'm just going to do that and see what it does. And yeah, now I can start looking at the icons here. So as you can see, there's this icons, which is not perfect. So what I'm going to do is just replace them with these icons. And for these icons, we can also find some other options. Let me just go ahead and try to see maybe there is better solutions here. And not really currently seeing. Maybe I can go to this website. Let me try to remember which one was that. Maybe this, maybe this. Got a few here. Yeah, these icons are not bad, honestly. I like the gradient. Let's see what we have here. These icons are also not great. Maybe actually looking at this now, maybe they can work, but I can just make them larger. So we have something similar to that option. But yeah, first let's see what they're gonna do here. And here I would like to have actually transition to be much cleaner than this. So what I can do is try to make the transition seamless. I will explain you briefly in Figma, and maybe it will give me a better idea to actually explain it to Lovable. So what I'm going to do is add a rectangle here with the same color as you see in here. And then I'm going to make it a gradient, so there is a nice transition. Obviously, this would be the same color, but it would be 0% opacity. And then I'll just change this and go up, something like this. And now, to make sure that it's good, I'm just going to move it a little bit up and make sure it's the same color, because it doesn't look like the same to me. Yeah, now it's the same. Obviously, I think it's different. But yeah, something like this could work. So what I can do is actually just to make the life of Lovable simpler, I can just export this thing as, let's do PNG and 3x for the quality to be good. And for some reason, it's not really perfect in terms of the alignment. So maybe I can just make sure that it's better aligned like this. Yeah, something like that. And now I can just create it and then export it and see. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, probably this one was better. Obviously, we can move the icons to the top, so that's not as bad as here. But other than that, let's just try to improve this action at the bottom of the hero section. Let's put this gradient so it has seamless transition with the second section. Let's just upload this image and see if it understands what I mean. If it doesn't, then we can work out some different solution. But also I want to see how it works on mobile. As you can see, it's not bad on the mobile. It has nice designs. I like how it's mobile created this. So let's just send it and see where it goes. Still, I don't really like how it looks like. So we're gonna send this screenshot I took from this website from Mockup and ask, make the character larger. Don't, similar to this image, but don't use this image in the website in any way, because it might take actually that image and then, okay, so now we can send that. Now what I want to do is actually choose the background of this section to be a little bit different from the section below. So I'm going to take a screenshot of it and make it in Figma. So now here I can actually see how it's going to look like if I change the background, let's say to this color. I want to see how it's going to be actually on the website, and I think it looks great. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to say for the problem section, make the background of this color. Let's say of darker color. Maybe we say this. Because the one thing that I'm worried about is going to actually leave the cards of the same color, and likewise adjust the color of the cards inside of this section. Because these cards right now are pretty much of the brighter color. So if it's going to change this color, then probably they will be too bright. But yeah, we're going to see the result. And then this section would be a bit lighter since this is the solution. We have the West City fix, the West City problem. And now what I can do is move the buttons inside of that section and work with the icons. Yeah, it did great job. Now let's say the icons in the export them as PNG, but for the quality to stay good, I would need to export them in 3x size, which is the best size to export. So I'm going to place them there. Now I'm just going to select all of them, go to Lovable, and just say in the section problem, use these icons instead of the ones that you have right now. Let's just send it and see if it's going to figure out which kind of icons I'm talking about. My laptop is about to die, so I need to charge it. But hopefully I can finish this website until it dies completely. It's about 10%. I'll update the problems section to use the new icons you've uploaded. Let me make those changes for you. At the top, just move the icons on top of the text, and in relying on staff or vendors section, remove the icons completely. I think that would be much clearer, and then we will have more hierarchy. So this would be the more important text, this would be not that important text, etc. It did it, but it aligned text to the left side. So what I'm going to do is see if we can align everything here without asking it to flex, justify, center, left. Why not? Why it doesn't do nothing? Flex, justify, left, MB2. Not sure what MB2 means, but oh yeah, it did justify it. And now I want to make sure that it's original size, because the sizing of the icon looks okay. I can choose the image right now and just remove the styling. And now I can just edit it and make sure that it's about H7, maybe we can do even, why it makes a circle? Is it the circle in the design here? Not real circle, it's H12, H12. And I do the same here, the same here. And now I want to make sure that it's none or cover. Yeah, for some reason it added this background to it, so which is not good. We need to select the div also and remove the background, because there is this background in the div which is not supposed to be there. Reset styling. Yeah, this looks better, so we're gonna save it. Now I will show you one trick that I usually do with the text. So I'm just gonna make a screenshot of this, and as you can see, it is not very similar text to each other. So I'm gonna put the screenshot inside of Lovable and say rewrite the text for it to be all precisely the same amount of words in each card. It should be, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 word headline, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 words description. Use the same tone of voice as right now. Let's see if he's going to figure out what I mean and see the result in 3, 2, 1. And it looks better, but the one thing is this piece of text, which is 3 lines instead of 2, and I wish it was button. And I'm just gonna copy this under the headline. and we're just gonna send it. And now we're gonna choose the next section that I will add to the website, which is actually the section with all of the products that they have. So basically explore all of the products. We have 5 products, and I thought that'd be a great idea to add a slider with this product. So I'm gonna copy this and just say explore. Maybe I see some references that I like. I'm not sure if I do. So we're just gonna say add a slider with 5 products with these products. The slider should have 3 cards visible, and then you can swipe to see the rest. And let's make sure that I've copied everything correctly. So explore all products. Yeah. And now I can just say that it should add. The beautiful thing about working with Lovable is that I don't need to paste the text directly into Framer or Figma, whatever I would work with, or Webflow. I can just give it the text and it will do everything that it wants with the text. It will create cards, etc., etc. So yeah, let's see what it's going to do with next. I'm not sure why it took like 4 minutes to move these buttons there, but yeah, now I can just paste this text there and then rock it. It didn't delete these buttons, which is doesn't matter. I can just remove them by clicking this, and then I can just click delete here. But I will do that after it adds this new section. I want to see. Oh man, what did it do? Oh man, explore all products. Why did it move? I think it just thought that having the products before the solution was great idea. I'm not sure why it did it. It's not that bad. Obviously, we can improve, add custom icons, but the first thing I want to do, move the section with the products to the bottom of the page. That would be the first thing that I'm going to tell it. So it's basically right now, it's added this section to the bottom of the page, which is great. And the other idea that I have is to make it more interesting. We can add some nice backgrounds like this to the page. Yeah, so what I will do is open this image in Photoshop and then have a few different stuff to do with it. I will show you what I would usually do and how I would edit this image. First, make sure it's not locked, and then make sure it's large so you have ability to add stuff at the top and at the bottom of the page. Then just do like this, hold shift, and then click generative fill. And hopefully it will fill this image in the way that I want. So what it did, it created 3 options for me, and now I can basically choose whichever one I prefer. Honestly, maybe this would work. Yeah, we can preferably, like neither of this is like the best, but what I can do is try to edit it myself. Maybe create another layer, choose this color, and then make it larger, not that much. And then just do like this, and then give it a little bit of opacity, like that, and create another layer. Do it like that, and then make it a little bit less opacity. Maybe I can give it some nice layer like that. And now I can export it. Export as JPEG, and then export. And then I say, well, I need these 2 sections to be combined in one. So I'm gonna say to it, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because these are 2 different sections. So explore all products. So I'm gonna try to explain it what I mean, and possibly you have to put this 2 section inside of the same div block so you can add this background to the same section. And now I can just upload this image, which is quite big, and it's not very good to have this big images on the page. You preferably want to make sure that they're less of size. And there is a lot of websites that do this, like Tiny PNG. But this is just a test work, and if I wanted to deploy it for real, I would change that. Let's also see what I can do with these icons. I'm not really a fan of these emojis. Yeah, here they are. So I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna export them as PNGs again. So we have very good. I like how abstract these icons are, that I can like just literally upload them to any website and they would fit there, which is great. And let's now just save them here. Yeah, make sure that it's X3 size. Yeah, it did great job of combining the two backgrounds actually, which I like. Let's edit one more time. Click edit and try to select the image inside of the div. Look, it just keeps adding the background. For some reason, reset styling. Save. Probably need to click save for it to be able to apply these changes here. And now what I can do is select these divs and then tell it place these icons here. Change this with this icon. So replace this with this icon. So we have 5 cards and replace the emojis with these icons. These, let's be precise. It did change the icons, which is great. The only thing I want to do now is make a few edits to this section. So what I'm going to do is just first try to edit it in here, select the section and try to align everything to the left side. Text left, fill, width, and then add the button to each card below the description text. I hope it knows that I'm talking about the product cards. Oh shit, I didn't specify it, so it can just literally take and do it with any card. So it did it, but not good. So I'm going to remove the padding in this element or add padding. Yeah, you can see the padding in here. Let me preview it. Yeah, it looks great. It's very well adapted. I love it, love it. Let's add an out bar with 3 links to the 3 links and 3 links text logo, which would say West City, and the button on the left side, right side actually, get started. Okay, let's just say it. And let's see if he's going to do a good job on adding a nice navbar that would be responsive on mobile devices. It did add it, which is great. The only thing I would need to change is the button because it messed up all of the colors. So I want to make sure I'm not changing other colors. So that would be that, and background. Let's save it. And now we would need to change only the color of the text, which is dark for some reasons, even though it says, let's choose it and let's make sure it's white. Oh yeah, that's right. Now it looks good. And now let's do one more thing, which is remove the background of the navigation. Maybe extend the background for the nav bar as well. So the nav bar is part of the hero section, kind of, if you understand what I mean. Basically, I think it just make another section with the navbar, and that's why the background doesn't go there. So possibly it would need to adjust the hero section background to extend behind the navbar, making the navbar appear as part of the hero section. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Yep, it looks great right now. So what I can do is just fix the button right now. Again, basically. Let's do, but at least now I know what I need to do. Let's do the transparent background. And yeah, now it sounds like it's good. And now we need to add a call to action section. Add a call to action section to the bottom, basically. Short headline, description, and a 2 buttons. Make sure it has enough contrast to be a great call to action. And let's just say add a call to action to the bottom. I should have said to the bottom of the page. And obviously I will add some of the animations here. I like this thing here. Pretty neat. I mean, to build something like this in Framer would probably take me the same amount of time. Honestly, just because I've did it in the Framer so many times that I know exactly what to do. But yeah, this call to action is not actually what I wanted. Oh, it just created this one. Page in a call to action, which should. So maybe we should just basically redo this section. And let's see what it does. Again, it did this thing with the card, which I don't really need. Transparent doesn't really work here. We can say remove. Yeah, I guess we can just say this. Just select that and say remove. The background. Make sure that buttons are the same as on the hero section, meaning no need for red buttons. Be consistent in your styles. What else can I ask you to do? And align text to the center in the. I'm just gonna specify it and then see what it does. Also, I think the background is a little bit dull. I want it to be more bright. So one thing that I can do is actually go ahead and try to create that section in my Figma file again, like I wanted to do it right now. So let's make sure that it's about the size of the regular web page. Make it like here. Probably not this, probably this. So we'll do this. I'm going to give it a little bit of darken color, so something like this. Make sure that it's a little bit darker, make it 55, and then I will go to another picture like this West image, put it here, maybe put it this. I can ask even AI to remove the image, remove the background. So let's go to the account where I have the AI subscription. I'm going to open one of the files, like for example, this one. Let's open. Now I can, oh, not this. Let's go and open, let's create a new one, design. And now I can just put it in here and try to remove the background with AI. So I'm gonna say remove background and see if it can just remove the background, all of this shit that I don't need. It has this nice animation. Yeah, it did perfect job. I love it. And now we can actually play around with this, put it like this. As you can see, there are a few things that I will need to edit. Specifically, I'm not sure. Yeah, as you can see, they have this thing here, which is not perfect for me. Like it has this. So what I can do is just try to edit it inside of Figma very quickly, like this, and then do it like this. Now I can just quickly make it around all of this. And then what I need to do is make it a fill. Any fill doesn't really matter. And I go back here, make sure it's a auto layout, and yeah, this would work better. And now I need to figure out how would I apply the text itself. So let's go to this section and take like random text here. Maybe we do something like this. But then it will be too large, honestly. What I can do is do something like this. Of course, a bit darker. Of course, we need to make sure that it's the same color. And also we need to make sure that it has this layout. Make 0%, not here. 0 at the top, something like this. Maybe from the top. Yeah, maybe from the top would be better. Let's see. Okay, so now it's way better. But as I said, I would want to make it more interesting. So I can just basically take a screenshot of this text right now and try to remove the background here to see how it's going to do. Remove the background. I'm interested if it's going to do a good job with removing text. Yeah, very good job. And now I can basically make a duplicate to see what I can do here. I will have the layout here. Oops. Shit. Okay, make a duplicate. Remove this. Add this and yeah, make it like this. So the top is a little bit darkened and the text can be read very well there. And then we can align this image here and maybe even make it a bit larger like this. Oh yeah, I had this image when I extended it, so something like this could even work. Yeah, I can add this here. And for the background, we can do it like this. And now I can just remove this and export this image. I can actually do one thing that I want is export it separately and explain it what I want. So here are the images for the background, for the call to action background. The first image should be the background. Let's say here are the images for the call to action in the background. The whole section should be pixel height. The first image should be background. The second should be the character at the bottom. Place it exactly as in the image. Reference. Third image. Almost perfect, actually. The only thing I need to do is move this text to the top. I wonder if I can move it with this. Nope. And this div at the top of the parent section. Add a padding from the top off. And let's see what the padding here is. Off 130 pixels, off 130 pixels. Let's see what it's going to do. I'm wondering. Yep, it did very good job for it. So the only thing we need to do is remove this thing here. The button should be definitely removed. And for this technologies, I think we can make the background a little bit different. So let's just pretend this is the background. And let's see which color would work the best here. Yeah, I think the dark color is good. So we're just gonna select this edits, save. What I want to do is make the background is much brighter. So what I can do is just remove this, and now the background is much brighter, which I really like better. Most of the sections are mobile optimized, so that's a great thing, honestly. But yeah, let's look. We have animations. Obviously, the background images can be optimized for faster speed loading. But yeah, here we have the hero image, then we have this image, and basically have some nice animations, the product section, the calls to action. Yeah, I'm not sure why it didn't save the last edits. Let's update it one more time and see if it's did update it, because I changed it. Maybe it looks different on the bigger screen, honestly. No, it should look good, honestly. And let's look at the mobile as well. So the mobile just text needs to be fixed and some images needs. Most of the cards are all right. But other than that, let's just preview it and see how it looks like here. One more time. And yeah, please leave a like and subscribe if you like this kind of videos, and I will create more lovable content because I think this is the future. So thank you for watching.